man convicted in the death of Crystal Rogers learned today he will spend 17 years in prison.
Steve Lawson, as you know, convicted on conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence in the 10-year-old Bardstown case, the murder of Crystal Rogers. We welcome back WHAS 11 News legal analyst Nick Mudd, who followed all of these trials with us so closely. Nick, big question here. Could the judge have gone higher in this today? Could he have overruled the jury's recommendation? A lot of people are asking us, why didn't Steve Lawson get the same as Joseph Lawson, his son? Well, the recommended sentence for Joseph Lawson, 25 years.
Right. It's possible, but it's highly, highly unlikely and rare. I'm talking less than 1% of the time. I've only seen it happen one time. It was a case I had. It was a homicide case. My client got 6 years at trial. The judge gave him 5 years. And I mean, that had some very, very extenuating circumstances of why that happened. But generally, a judge is going to stick to the jury's recommendation. I mean, they're kind of really supposed to, kind of a unwritten rule of judges. They usually follow the
Yeah, I can't remember a judge that went over what a jury recommended.
Right, and it's just not something that happened. I mean, judges have a lot of respect for juries. I mean, it's up to the people to decide, right? It's their power. That's our end. It's where the rubber meets the road.
So when's he eligible for parole?
So if we do the math here, we're looking at 17 years. 85% of that puts it at about 14 years. Okay. Plus he's got about a year in. So I would say looking about 2038, he would be eligible for parole.
All right. And so where are we on filing for a new trial?
Okay. So that was filed previously as well. My understanding is his attorneys today, Darren Wolf, he submitted on that, which essentially says, Judge, I filed it, but I want you to look at my filings, look at my briefs, and just rule on it really without argument. So
the judge would rule just back in writing at some point?
Correct. It's kind of what they call take it under submission. People just say, oh, I submit, which means, Judge, you know, look at what I filed.
These requests for appeal will go back in front of Judge Sims?
So the appeal now can be filed in the next 30 days. Okay, that's just the notice. Once that is filed, they have an additional 30 days. They usually ask for an extension to file appeal to the Court of Appeals or Supreme Court. And so this is going to go on for a while, though. I mean, the appeals they take a long time. A lot of times they'll ask for extensions, 60 days, 120 days. Judge, we're trying to review everything. So it would not surprise me if appeals aren't even, the actual appeal document listing the arguments they're making isn't filed before Christmas would surprise me.
And this is definite. That's going to happen.
Right. It's 100% going to happen. I mean, it's almost malpractice not to file an appeal.
So does this set the blueprint for the next sentencing coming up on August 21st? Of course, Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson. Do we have an indication from this, Nick, that this judge is going to do the same thing when it comes down the line here in just a few weeks?
I think it's a good indication that he's going to be consistent. He's going to follow the jury's recommendation. I don't see why he wouldn't. He's certainly not going to deviate from a life sentence that Brooks Houck got. I mean, it couldn't go any higher based on the situation presented. It's not a capital case, not a death penalty case. But there is no way that Judge Sims is going to deviate from that, and I do not see him deviating from Joey Lawson's case either.
Okay, when it comes to Brooks Houck, Alexandra said today down from Bardstown that the family, would like no parole for Houck and no conditional discharge. Explain that to folks.
So he is parole eligible at 20 years. So people think life is life. It's not. There's life without parole for 25 years. There's a death penalty. But those deal with capital cases where it's basically a death penalty case, or there's what's called aggravated has been filed. That's not here. We have what we call baby life, okay? Baby life is essentially you hit the parole board at 20 years. So he could get out in 20 minus the year he's got in, so add 19 years. 2044, he could get out. It is possible. Do I think he will get out? Absolutely not, but it is certainly possible for that to happen.
Let's focus on the Brooks Houck case a little bit. These incredible phone calls, he was making them on even the day that he got his conviction in the death of Crystal Rogers, making phone calls to his family members. They were recorded. Here's some of what Brooks Houck said in these audio calls.
I've been humbled through this whole process, and I know the realization anything can happen. But you know something? I feel good about 12 peers being able to sort through this. Were you paying attention to any of the body language or any of the stuff on the jury today? It was kind of a hard crowd to read, aren't they?
Nick, you were with us for every single day of that trial. Your thoughts on these calls and what he's saying in them?
I mean, look, he thought he was going to win, and he had excellent attorneys. They put on a good case as the defense, and you know, don't get me wrong, he got convicted, but this was a tough case. People think that this was an easy case for the prosecution. You had no body, no murder weapon, no strong motive. This was a very, very difficult case for the prosecution. This thing could have gone either way, and certainly he was apparently confident he was going to win, but ultimately, I mean, the jury decided against him, and not only that, they gave him life. So they certainly were positive he was guilty.
All right. Nick, thanks for your work. You'll be back, of course, for that sentencing date again, August 21st.